telling me that if I buy a house 30 years ago at $50,000, but the city develops really well and now the value of my house is at $2 million, you're telling me that I have to now pay taxes on $2 million, even though I have never seen a dime of that $2 million? I have not sold my house. This is not an investment property. This is where I live, and I chose to live, and I hoped to live for the rest of my life. But now you're telling me that I either have to sell my house or lose my house because I can't afford to pay taxes. And the taxes are probably more than what my mortgage was 30 years ago. You're telling
That's crazy. That the taxes may end up being more than what your mortgage was when you originally purchased the home, meaning the principal and interest of the original home loan, that the taxes over time can equal out to more than that payment. So essentially, you've paid the mortgage and now you're just paying another mortgage, but now you're 30, 35, 40 years older, nearly ready to go meet your maker, and you're going to have to figure out how to pay this money, or you're going to be well, you're not going to be homeless in the street because that's now been illegal. So you're going to be in some encampment somewhere, um, you know, being taken care of by Big Brother.
me that if I give this house as an inheritance as a senior to my children and I pass away, they will either have to pay those property taxes for the rest of their lives, or they risk losing the house that I have worked so hard
Yeah.
for all this time.
Yeah, they're gonna screw you over, and then when you're trying to do the right thing to leave something to those children, they better have an income. They better have a way to pay the king, because if they don't, that house that you've already gave all the sweat of your brow to to maintain for said children, now they're adults, they're not going to have it if they don't have an income, if they've been laid off and they get delinquent in their property taxes for the home that you've already sacrificed yourself, your mind, your being, your time, meals, vacations, memories that you could have created to pay off that home. They're going to lose it if they can't stand on their own 2 feet and continue to keep paying the king and the queen.
Property taxes is a scam. And I understand that it pays for education and it pays for teacher salaries, but I think we need to find another way because
It
homeowners are
doesn't
losing
it
their.
doesn't pay for that stuff. That's just what you're told. Almost like when you're a kid and you're told when you grow up you can be whatever you want to be. But then you see nepotism, you see people that make $40,000 as a police officer, but you'll see folks that throw a football make, I don't know, $400 million. You'll see firefighters run into burning buildings and risk their lives and their health, make 60 or 70,000 or 80,000. Let's be really nice and say 100,000. But you'll see a singer come out on stage butt naked and pretty much make a gazillion dollars. So it's just an ideology that you're being fed. It's not really paying for those things, in my opinion. Theoretically, that is what they're saying it's paying for. But if we can muster up money to send out of one country to another country to help them, we can muster up that same money to pay the schools and the firefighters and the police. We can just treat it the same way as money that's necessary. We don't need to necessarily do it the property tax way. That is my opinion. But please post your opinions in the comment section. Please also subscribe to our channel, because it keeps to encourage us with discussing these topics that many are thinking about and are facing in this year of 2026, when things just seem to be, everybody's just walking into a brick wall here. So we do appreciate your insights and you sharing those thoughts. Let's go on and continue to listen to what she's saying in here.
Homes every single day. If you look in the tax lien website in your state, you're going to see how many people are losing their homes. They probably paid those homes off. They probably have paid the majority of their mortgage, but they can no longer afford to pay taxes. And their mortgages go up. And if they have already paid it, now they have to pay this for the rest of their life.
And the
Or they
sad thing is that a lot of people go into mortgages, even though the way it's constructed is crazy, because they're getting twice the value, sometimes maybe even more than that, worth to buy the home out of you with the interest that they're charging you on money that they're printing anyways in the first place, and no money actually left their hand to go to your hand. It's all numbers on the screen, but they charge you the interest on numbers on the screen, because it all seems like we're playing one big long con Squid Game in many ways, and we just didn't know Squid Game was a thing till the show came out. but we've all just been playing this Squid Game. And at one time, the Squid Game was reasonable to play because there was actual, real, tangible prizes at the end of the game that you truly could win, and you could step out of the game field and go sit down and enjoy the rewards of your labor. But now it just seems like you're squidding forever. There is no enjoyment. And they're just finding other ways to make the game like impossible. Just like in a previous video, one lady said just don't pay them. But you know, if you just don't pay them, then they'll just take the home that much faster. So, like I suggested, do people just buy the cheapest property that they can, land, just bare land, and find where they can zone it to just put tents and maybe sheds on it and live like that? What do you think? Please put your thoughts in the comment section.
Just losing their home to some investor that is going to buy your house for whatever the tax amount was that you couldn't afford, but they can.
Right.
We need to start fighting against property taxes. It needs to either be regulated to stop going up as much, or it needs to be stopped altogether. We're paying we're paying enough money for
I
it.
think it needs to be stopped altogether, as I stated. Just pay it a different way. I mean, you take the taxpayer money out of their check before they ever get it. So, I mean, you don't need to put property taxes directly on anyone's property, especially like people that are not in the 5%, the 4%, the 3%, the 2%, or the 1%. Like people that don't really have money, they're quote unquote middle class, even though that's been, eroded. When I was much younger, I remember people would say, oh, the middle class is going away. Well, I mean, that they definitely ramped up that plan. Was that part of the Project 2025, or was that Project 2020? I don't even know anymore. But the same way you do the relief packages to send out to other countries that haven't paid a nickel a dime in taxes in this country, you just do the same thing, but you pay all the stuff you're saying you're paying with the property taxes. So you pay, if you're saying you're paying schools and you're paying emergency services, just package it that way and pay the salaries out of that. This isn't rocket science, it's a scam, in my opinion.
Our education, like there is a leak somewhere. This is too much. If everybody here owns their home and you don't have enough money to pay for the teachers' salaries and the education, then there's something wrong in the government and we need to fix it.
And not only that, it's like who's tracking this money? You know, I mean, they're just printing the money. And then they're saying, well, we don't have enough money. But you chose the amount to print, right? You chose the price of everything. It's not like the average human can just make the price of something. These are conglomerates. It's almost like a RICO where they're all in cahoots with what's going to be what this year and the next year what's going to be what. And they're all consolidating what's going to be more increased and more expensive and making sure that your wage won't match it. And then they're just trying to say, but if you don't pay the property taxes, people won't be able to pay the teachers. They won't be able to pay, the emergency services. But how is that so? When overnight we can send X billion to whatever foreign land. Like, stop with the word salad. That's what it is. You have the money because you print the money. The money isn't real money. This isn't gold. We're not paying property taxes in gold and silver. We paying this shit with motherfucking pieces of paper that you goddamn bastards printed. So tell me how you wouldn't have the money when you control the goddamn printers. Just press the button a few more goddamn times and pay everybody the goddamn salaries that ain't enough any goddamn way. But anyway, put your comments and your thoughts in the comment section. Please tell me if you think it is a scam. If you have a different word for it, call it that. But it just seems like this is one large Squid Game that has gone on much longer because so many people were benefiting at one point, but the generations are switching and the benefits are no longer there. I do thank you for listening. Please share your perspectives, please subscribe, and continue to share your thoughts. Thank you and take care.